G'day mates, it's the Doctor here, and welcome back to another deck profile. This time, it'll be an updated deck profile on Box Jellyfish, or some may like to call it Kragen Control, others may like to call it Sharks, but I like to go with a funnier name because how often do we see decks with funny names like Pac-Man or my Exodia deck, MMORPG? Mystic Mine Obliteration Rupturing Playable Games. Let me know if you remember any other funny deck names back in the day. But let's get to the deck because we had a ban list last week, and there have been some changes after practicing with this deck more, so to make it more consistent. But let's get to the main deck. So starting off with Lantern Shark, when this card is normal or special summon, you can activate this effect to summon a level 3, 4, or 5 water monster from the hand in defense mode. And it locks you to XC summons, which this deck does all of that. Actually, I wonder if that contradicts, like, Instant Fusion. Ooh, I just realized that now. Let me know in the comments. But, whereas Lantern Shark lets you summon another monster from the hand, except Lantern Shark, Buzzsaw Shark can target itself and summon another monster from the deck. Not Buzzsaw Shark, but a monster of the same level, so considering it's not from your hand, you have a more likelihood of summoning an additional level 4 monster, and being a searcher, that's just really good. So you can search for something like Right Hand Shark, and I'm using one copy of this because you can summon it off the Buzzsaw. And if this monster is used for an Xyz summon, then that monster cannot be destroyed in battle. Now we have Tenyi Spirit Stefana, so the idea behind this deck, as you probably figured out, is swarming the field with level 4 monsters, and then go for instant XC summons, specifically rank 4. So Tenyi Spirit Stefana, if you control no effect monsters, you can special summon this card from the hand, or off Lantern Shark. And then, I've got Barrier Statue of the Torrent. So with this Barrier Statue, you can lock your opponent down to summoning only water monsters only. But what I was going to say was that you could probably see this nasty curve. That's actually not on the sleeve. That's on the card itself, which, I don't want to take it out of the sleeve. I'll try it. So, the other two copies I have of this card are newer, but this is older printing, which I like, but, how on earth did this happen, you might be wondering. It's because, I had my deck on the ground with all the charges and cables, and my cat laid on it. So she pressed the card on the cables, and now it's damaged. And it's the better looking one of the frog. So we have Ice Knight, another monster that lets you make additional summons from the hand because it lets you make another normal summon, but it can be negated by Effect Veiler or Infinity Impermanence because it's an activation effect. And, additionally, gains 400 attack for every Aqua monster on the field, including itself. So you can have 2 Aqua monsters on the field, and this card gains 800 attack for 2100, which is not bad. And now we have Silent Sea Nettle and Silent Angler that pretty much serves the same purpose. To, if you control a water monster, special summon this card from the hand, but whereas Silent Sea Nettle restricts you to, you cannot special summon monsters except water monsters, Silent Angler prevents you from making additional special summons from the hand. And, by the way, do you guys think they should do a Duelist Saga 2? Because Duelist Saga is the only set with this, parallel ultra rarity? Why don't we have more of it? And then Effect Veiler for hand traps, and as you can see, the ban list gave us some changes, like Pot of Desires is at 2. And I think it's perfectly fine at 2 because, well, you can run 3 if it becomes unlimited again, and it will just make sure you don't deck yourself out, because when you activate 2 of these, ooh. Now we have Instant Fusion, pay 1,000, special summon level 5 or lower monster from the hand, which, I mean extra deck. And obviously the combo with this is Rare Fish that was printed in Ghost from the Past 2, reprinted, And there is another one, I'll just show you guys right away, that happens to be Mud Dragon of the Swamp, so you don't necessarily need the rare fish, unless you want to play 3 copies of Ready Fusion. Now we have Called by the Grave to deal with bloody hand traps, Heartbeat's Feather Duster for back row removal, and then 2 copies of Fury of Kaishin, which can protect your monsters from being destroyed by card effects, like Eternal Tribute, which this is exactly what Fury of Kaishin searches for. I kind of like that. It's not just a card type, like within an archetype, add 1 hero card, 1 fish card, but just Eternal Tribute. Cool. And yep, that is definitely a secret rare, Eternal Tribute. Then 3 copies of Infinity Impermanence, and Gozen Match, which restricts players from playing only or controlling 1 specific attribute, like water, for example, because Stealth Kragen puts all monsters on the field to water. It converts their attributes to water, so if your opponent's not playing a water deck, then they might struggle a bit. But Stealth Kragen is such an amazing card that it's a quick effect to pop and does burn damage, and not only when it's destroyed, well, not only that, but when it's destroyed, I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a lot, but you also get to bring out Stealth Kragen Spawn, which is a weaker version, but hey, if these guys are destroyed, you can bring back the Stealth Kragen, and it's not a hard once per turn, so you can do it again. Now we have Bahamut Shark. Oh yes, I'm running 2 copies in case you get like Call by the Grave or DD Crow, which has happened, so, well, gotta play 2 of them, just in case. And with Bahamut Shark, it is quite easy with his deck to bring out 2, and then you get to have 2 totally awesomes on the field. Yeah, thank you, Konami, for taking this card back off Banlist before it really became problematic in the current Master Duel. Then we have Abyss Dweller, which is kind of like a Necro Valley for the deck that shuts down your opponent's graveyard so they cannot special summon or remove any cards from the grave. Now we have Drill Driver Vesperado, so you've got to be a bit careful with this one. But I basically run it to have Bahamut Shark attack, but if you're playing Silent Sea Nettle or Lantern Shark, then or even Ice Knight, then you cannot summon this card. Same goes for Utopia and Utopia for Lightning and Divine Arsenal Zeus. Which, fun fact, I managed to beat a Zark player with this card. Because Zark cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, but it can still be sent to the grave. And now for some other cards I'm going to talk about. There is Diamond Dust, that's like Eternal Tribute that you can activate anytime, and also does 500 damage to your opponent for every water monster destroyed. And this was exclusively in Ghosts from the Past. I can see this being reprinted in a OTS pack. Then there's Numbers Protection, that's like a Solemn Judgment in a way for the deck, and can also reset itself, but there's no easy way of searching this card, so you gotta hard draw it. Then a Beautiful Princess, this is a card that people have been saying should be reprinted, and it should. Maybe in the next Battles of Legend, which is Crystal's Revenge? That's an odd title. Then Anti-Spell Fragrance, I finally got a playset of this card, so with Imperial Order banned, another hit on the ban list, which is kind of fair, to be fair, but this card can also help you slow down your opponent, and considering that you don't run a lot of spell cards in the deck, you can side them out for Anti-Spell Fragrance, and now Spiritual Water Art, Owie, tribute a water monster, look at your opponent's hand, and send a card from their hand to the grave, so hand destruction. Then Dimension Slice, can we just look at the text? How much bigger that is compared to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Dimension Slice, when you special summon a monster, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls and banish it. But if it didn't say like C summon, you can activate this card the turn it was set. And finally, Torpedo Takedown, which inflict 400 damage to your opponent for every card in their hand, which should have been the effect for Submersible Carrier Arrow Shark from the anime, but they made it so much worse in the TCG. Like, even then, in 2011, like, really? We're downgrading card effects like that? Then again, numbers can only be destroyed by another number. Yeah, I mean, they would have been a lot better. But also, you can manage this card and a water exceeds monster from your graveyard to draw 2 cards. So I guess it's another Pot of Desires. When we get the Megatins, we will get Pot of Prosperity, so maybe replace that with Pot of Desires. But yeah, still, you gotta gotta banish cards from your extra deck. I completely missed this card. White Mirror. So you can target a fish monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then you get to add a copy from deck to your hand. So let's say it is where are you? Silent Angler. Special summon this card from the grave, and you get to add a copy, and then special summon that copy to the field. So it's a very nifty combo, especially going first, when you want to set up your Bahamut Sharks for Toad and your Stealth Kragen on the field turn 1. This is, yeah, it's become my strongest deck today. And I love it. Box Jellyfish. Boxes in your opponent from winning. So, that is the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, take care, mates.